this video I am going to talk a little bit about proportions. That's Blue Belt Discipline 2. First I'm just going to give you the definition of a proportion, which for me never makes a whole lot of sense until I start doing problems. Definition of a proportion is simply two equal ratios. Alright, so one of the things that we would use proportions for, you could use them for modifying recipes. We did that with the rice pudding. Another thing you can use proportions for is drawing something to scale. So let's say you wanted to draw a scale model of the solar system. You would use proportions because you have the sun that's really big and the earth is a certain amount of the sun, and so if you wanted to draw something that actually represented the right size of the sun versus the size of the earth, you would have to use proportions to get the size difference accurate. Anywho, in this video I'm going to show you guys how to figure out whether or not two ratios form a proportion. So meaning those two ratios would be equal. And in this video I'm going to write ratios like fractions because I think it's the easiest way to figure out if they're equal or not. That's just my opinion though. Okay, so the first example, and I'm going to refer to this page. You guys have it in your Blue Belt. It's kind of an introductory page. It's not a page that you're supposed to answer any questions on. It's just a page you're supposed to look at and try to figure out what it's saying. So the first one, we're trying to find out if 10 to 20 is equal to 15 to 30. And the way that I'm going to find out is, do they reduce to the same fraction? So is this little dog proportionate to this dog? Okay, so if you want to find out 10 to 20, is it equal to 15 to 30? I like to put that question mark there, that way I remember I'm trying to figure out if they're equal or not. Okay, so 10 to 20, so do they reduce to the same fraction? So 10 to 20. Well, I know that I can divide 10 by 10 and I can divide 20 by 10, so I can definitely reduce this down to 1/2. And 10 is half of 20, so that makes sense. Now 15 to 30, I know, let's put this right here, I know that 15 can be divided by 15, and I know that 30 can be divided by 15. So I end up with 1/2. So since 10 20ths equals 1/2 as a reduced fraction and 15 30ths equals 1/2 as a reduced fraction, that means that 10 20ths does equal 15 30ths. So 10 20ths and 15 30ths equal a proportion. They're two equal ratios. Alright, draw a little line. Do the next example. The next one deals with cross products. And cross products, I might even just write a definition of cross products. Cross products are, well, let's see, products is, oops, I wrote products. Products, there's a C. Cross products is when you multiply the numbers across from each other, you should get the same number. So answers to multiplying the numbers across from each other in two ratios. So if the cross products are equal, then those two ratios form a proportion. So let's try 3/5. Is that equal to 21 over 35? Okay, well, the cross product, so that would be, I like to just draw a big X in the middle with little arrows pointing to what I'm multiplying. So that would be, does 5 times 21 equal 3 times 35? Okay, well, let's find out. Do the work over here. 21 times 5. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, so I got 105 is one of my cross products, and then 35 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So that means that the cross products are equal. So 3/5, do a little bubble around my answer. 3/5 is equal to 21 over 35 because the cross products are equal. Now, I think I have enough room to do the last one. I'm going to make it a little smaller. Alright, I'll do this one in black, actually. Okay, the last way to figure it out, well, there's probably other ways too, but the last way I'm going to show you in this video is, does the numerator divided by the denominator equal the same in both ratios? So, does 1/2 equal 5/8? Question mark right here. So, I always tell you guys, whether you remember or not, I always tell you that 1 divided by 2, or all fractions, I'm just getting it all wrong this morning. Okay, 1 divided by 2. I'm trying to say, what I always tell you is that all fractions are division problems. All fractions are division problems. So 1 divided by 2. Top number in the house, always, if you want to find out what these are as decimals, you divide 1 divided by 2. Okay, so top number in the house. So if the numerator divided by the denominator equals the same for both of these, then they form a proportion. So 2 doesn't go into 1, 0, so I add a decimal and add a 0. 2 goes into 10 5 times. Alright, so 1/2 equals 0.5. And then top number in the house, 5 divided by 8. Top number in the house. 8 goes into 5 0 times. Oop, already knowing these are not going to be equal. It's 8 goes into 56 times. 6 times 8 is 48. And then I'm going to keep going. So I already know that they're not equal. So, oops, 5/8 equals 0.6 something. Probably shouldn't put little dots there. That's confusing. Okay, so if the top number divided by the bottom number equals the same thing, then the proportions are equal. So in this case, 1/2, oops, what am I doing? I'm just going crazy this morning. 1/2 does not equal 5/8. And does not equal, the sign for does not equal is an equal sign with a slash through it. Kind of like a no smoking sign. Okay, so in this video, 3 ways to tell the reduced to the same fraction the cross products are equal. Or they equal the same decimal. Numerator divided by denominator. Alright. Those are 3 ways you can find out if proportions are equal. Bye.